Imagine a man in his mid-30s, unemployed, struggling in life, and still living with his parents. His daily routine involves heavy drinking, and despite his best efforts, success continues to elude him. In a bid to turn things around, he decides to try his luck on a dating app. After a few weeks of swiping, he finally manages to secure a date at a nice restaurant. The conversation starts off well, with some light-hearted banter, but then the inevitable question comes up. So, what do you do for a living? Despite an enjoyable evening together, the woman declines a second date. When her friends ask why she didn't want to see him again, she simply replies, "He's nice enough, not bad looking, but I've decided to stop dating losers." Now, let's take a moment to unpack this. The woman's decision is perfectly valid. Everyone has the right to decide who they want to date. But this scenario shines a light on a much broader issue: how the term loser is used in today's world. It's not just about choosing not to date someone, it's about how society brands people. The word loser has become a label used to ridicule, criticize, and dismiss anyone who doesn't meet a particular standard of success. But what exactly is a loser? What determines failure, and why is it so important to label people in such a way? When you call someone a loser, what are you really saying? Have they truly lost something, or are they just not fitting into a narrow mold of societal expectations? More importantly, why do we feel the need to mock those who don't measure up to arbitrary standards? These are all valid questions that force us to rethink what it means to be a loser in today's world. No one wants to be seen as a loser, and yet, for many, it's a label that seems impossible to escape. Society's obsession with winning and losing has created an unhealthy dichotomy. People are terrified of being branded as a failure, even though success, by society's standards, is often a moving target. The term loser is quite literally someone who loses, but it's rarely used in its technical sense anymore. In many languages, like Dutch and French, the word for loser refers specifically to someone who has lost, say, a game or a competition. In English, however, it has evolved into a derogatory label applied to all sorts of situations. You could be called a loser for not earning enough money, for struggling with addiction, for being single, or even for something as superficial as not looking attractive enough. In America, this divide between winners and losers has become so pronounced that it often supersedes other forms of division, be it race, religion, or politics. The term loser has become the ultimate insult, reducing individuals to nothing more than their perceived failures. Author Neal Gabler has pointed out that losers in American culture are akin to untouchables, treated with contempt and derision. But here's the thing. While we all like to believe we're in control of our destinies, the truth is that a significant portion of our lives is shaped by forces beyond our control. While it's true that our choices matter, they are only part of the equation. As the ancient Stoics noted, external events, like where we're born, our family circumstances, or even our health, are not something we can control. What we can control, however, are our actions and attitudes. The belief that being a loser is entirely someone's own fault is overly simplistic. Yes, bad decisions can lead to bad outcomes, but we often overlook the role of fate or luck in shaping our lives. Psychologist Barry Kaufman, for example, has studied the role of luck in success. His research suggests that while talent is important, luck often plays a far more significant role than most of us are willing to admit. Mediocre but lucky people often achieve greater success than highly talented individuals who face a series of unfortunate events. Think about it. We don't choose where we're born or to whom. We don't get to pick our level of intelligence, our looks, or even our genetic predisposition to illness. Many of the factors that shape our lives are out of our hands. The cards we're dealt are largely a matter of luck. And yet, in today's society, if someone isn't winning by a specific set of standards, they're labeled a loser. And worse, they're blamed for it. Philosophers like Arthur Schopenhauer have long argued that the opinions of others should not dictate our happiness. It's easy to get caught up in what people think of us, but ultimately, their judgments are often superficial, narrow, and based on erroneous beliefs. Schopenhauer encouraged people to focus on their inner life and not let external opinions define them. So, how do you become a happy loser? According to Schopenhauer, the key is to differentiate between who you are and how others perceive you. If you're content with your life but others call you a loser, does it really matter? The truth is, society's opinion of you doesn't necessarily reflect your actual worth or happiness. It's just a label, and one that often has more to do with other people's perceptions than with reality. Of course, this doesn't mean that everyone who's called a loser is happy, or that they shouldn't strive for improvement. But if you're content with your choices, and if your life brings you happiness, then being labeled a loser shouldn't affect your sense of self-worth. What truly matters is how you see yourself, and whether you're living according to your own values, rather than someone else's expectations. So the next time you hear someone being called a loser, or if you're ever labeled one yourself, take a step back. Realize that this label is often based on a limited, often misguided perspective. It's not about winning or losing. It's about living life on your own terms and finding happiness in who you are, not who others expect you to be. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into societal labels and self-perception, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking content. See you next time.